To run for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, if by the grace of God and the will of the people, and given the opportunity, then I believe that first we must complete what we have started.
Vice President Yemi Oshibajo declares intention to run for the 2023 presidential election.
It's designed to contribute to the recovery of the Lake Chad region through a set of investment.
The stakeholders strategize towards stabilizing Lake Chad Basin to enhance social and economic activities.
We've just presented the She Business Hub for wealth creation, turning business ideas and ventures into business.
Also tonight, Central Bank commences second stage pitch competition to shortlist the beneficiaries of developmental grant. Welcome to NTA Network News. I am Kene Ima Abodike and we are live in Abuja. Michael Olaleye is in our Lagos studio and Zinrate Dingmoon is in our Jos studio. You can follow this news broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and all our social media platforms displayed on the screen for updates. President Muhammadu Buhari has conveyed full appreciation of Nigerians to the former United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon for his commitment towards the progress and socio-economic development of Nigeria. Speaking over the phone, President Buhari reiterated his long-standing respect and admiration for the two-time UN scribe and thanked him for initiating the call. Ban Ki-moon commended the president for his handling of security and related challenges facing the country. He expressed appreciation for the support of two prominent citizens of Nigeria, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, President's Chief of Staff and one-time UN Under-Secretary General, and Mrs. Amina Mohammed, the current Deputy Secretary General, saying that they are among the best he had ever worked with. Regional stakeholders, in collaboration with key players or key global players in humanitarian crisis, are strategizing towards stabilizing Lake Chad Basin for enhanced social and economic activities. This came to the fore at the first annual International Forum of the Lake Chad Basin, declared open by Nigerian Vice President Yemi Oshibajo.
Opportunities and fragility.
Something that requires urgent attention. And we must fast-track the implementation of the agricultural activities of the product for this farming season.
This fourth International Forum on the Development of the Lake Chad region is aimed at establishing a perennial platform of exchange for local, regional, and international actors and decision makers to discuss and plan new ways and existing cooperation with a view to strengthen the impact of the stabilization of the region.
It's designed to contribute to the recovery of the Lake Chad region through a set of investment focused on supporting regional coordination, knowledge and monitoring, connectivity and rural mobility, and agricultural livelihood that seek to address the underlying fragility as well as acute humanitarian and post-development crises in the four countries.
The forum aims also to advance the implementation of the regional strategy for stabilization, recovery, and resilience of areas affected by Boko Haram insurgency through PROLAC and the multi-sectoral crisis recovery project of Northeast Nigeria.
I am asking our teams, I'm asking our management back in Washington to see, to really recognize that there isn't such a clean separation between development and security. They really have to be intertwined. And that's part of what we hope to work with the governors of the Bay States and with the federal government on, at least here in Nigeria, and then hopefully in the other POLAC countries as well.
Nigerian Vice President Professor Yemi Oshibajo says cooperation and coordination for recovery interventions across the region is apt and achievable.
All of the successes in our fight against terrorism exemplify what we can achieve working together. We therefore must continue to build build on this spirit of cooperation in other areas of intervention and forge even stronger ties for sharing information and lessons from our different experiences. One of the things that the crisis has affected is social cohesion within and around many of the communities in the region. So as we rebuild the physical structures within these areas, we should be mindful of the need to foster peaceful coexistence and restore the social fabric of those communities and societies.
Stakeholders say restoring the vibrancy in the great regional commercial nerve center and ending the more than 1 decade of carnage will serve as a live wire for speedy economic recovery and growth. In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Now to politics, where after months of speculations, Nigeria's Vice President Yemi Oshibajo has finally declared to run for president. Again, Jide Onifade reports.
It is the arrival of Nigeria's star boy of politics on the starting block, exclaimed one of the several Nigerians who had expected the declaration of interest by Vice President Yemi Oshibajo for the presidential race in 2023.
He is somebody that we all believed that you can give your trust and go back and sleep with your 2 eyes closed.
After so much suspense, the declaration comes at last.
I believe that the very reason why the Almighty God gave me these experiences, these insights, and these opportunities is that they must be put to the use of our country and its great peoples. Which is why I am today, with utmost humility, formally declaring my intention to run for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria on the platform of our great party, the All Progressives Congress.
His admirers refer to him as someone who is well prepared for the job, and that nothing else is new to him when it comes to governance. As the chairman of the National Economic Council, Vice President Yemi Oshibajo continues to work with state government towards ensuring that the people, even at the grassroots, benefit from the federal government programs.
I described him as a true and loyal partner in this enterprise of running this nation. And I believe so much in that he has done very well and he has done credibly well as the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The Vice President is somebody, based on my own observation in this last 7 to 8 years, somebody that is driven by the notion that government and governance, leadership of people ought to be driven by justice.
The people believe the Vice President is well cut out for the job, even at higher level position of our President. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Meanwhile, as Vice President Yemi Oshibajo declares intention to join in the presidential race, more groups canvass support to actualize his ambition. Kenneth Nanim compiled the report on some of the rallies across the country.
Some support groups have been holding rallies urging the Vice President, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, to contest for the presidential position in the 2023 general election. Upon declaration by Vice President Monday to join the presidential race, more support groups across the country have emerged, drumming support for the Vice President. In Abuja, Joseph Osten reports that coalition group for Yemi Oshibajo described Vice President as a man with wealth of experience and capable of transforming Nigeria's economy and build bridges of unity across the country.
We are suing for continuity, experience, courage, and winning qualities. All Progressive Congress APC, our dear party, has the handsome opportunity and best choice before it. Being the chairman of the National Economic Council, Nigeria can attest to the fact that in all facets that it touched, there was an information.
Also in Kano, Aminu Umar reports that the coalition of Kano support group for Oshibajo defied the hot weather condition and rolled out the drums for a man they believe is the new hope for Nigeria. The group believe also that the Vice President is competent enough to succeed President Muhammadu Buhari in view of his loyalty and commitment to the Nigeria project.
we feel God in his mercy, as he said, had prepared him and given him three things: the experiences, as well as the exposure, and then the opportunities.
He is the best for now, for Nigeria, yes.
And I stand here for women and youth in the country to celebrate this great occasion.
From Jalingo also, Simon Danladiata reports that Oshibajo Youth Organization Taraba State Chapter also joined their counterparts nationwide to garner support for the Vice President. They are thankful that the Vice President has finally yielded to the call.
The candidature of Professor Yemi Oshibajo is a call for better Nigeria.
The groups have promised to give in their all to ensure Vice President Oshibajo wins the presidential election come 2023. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
And in the build-up to the 2023 general elections, Bayelsa State Governor Senator Doye Diri has played host to two governors of the People's Democratic Party, a former Senate President, and other stakeholders of the party in the Government House in Abuja. The visit was to brainstorm on how PDP will emerge victorious in the coming presidential election in 2023. Fred Owefie reports.
Rising from a closed-door meeting at the State Government House in Yenagoa, former Senate President Bukola Saraki, Governor Aminu Tambuwa of Sokoto State, his Bauchi State counterpart Bala Muhammad and other stakeholders of PDP were in the state to discuss an early preparation ahead of 2023 presidential election.
We all have individual interests, but what we have come to accept and we have come to believe in is that the interest of Nigeria is far greater than individual interest.
There is no other way forward other than the unity of purpose of the People's Democratic Party. We must realize that, firstly, we are an opposition party. We are not a party in government, and we cannot afford to factionalize and fractionalize our party by way of individual ambitions.
Governor Diri urged party members to rise above all sentiments and work in unity to take over power come 2023. Fred Owefie, NTA News.
Away from politics, the Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, is upscaling integration of human artificial intelligence and combating security challenges in Nigeria. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that this is the focus of a training at the DIA College, Abuja.
Threats posed by non-state actors in different parts of the country are no longer static, but becoming speedily dynamic with sophisticated weapons.
The need for intelligence sharing and shunning of rivalries is critical to Nigeria's national security.
Availability of credible and timely intelligence alone will not be enough to resolve our country's security challenges without an effective response capability that is aimed on science, technology, and innovation. The convergence of human and artificial intelligence, aided by the utilization of science, technology, and innovation, is therefore one of the frontiers that this course will emphasize on.
To address these complex security challenges, the Defense Intelligence Agency is developing the capacity of these officers to enhance accurate intelligence report to facilitate proactive operations on the front line.
A lot of experts have said we politicize a lot of issues. Security and intelligence are part of those things we politicize. The essence of this particular course is to challenge the middle cadre leaders so that at least let them find a way of carrying their men along in finding solutions to our problems.
The need for positive citizens' attitude towards security issues and development of the nation's military-industrial complex were highlighted. From the Defense Intelligence College in Karu, Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Now, the federal government has aggregated approximately 5.2 trillion naira in debts owed her through the Project Lighthouse Debt Recovery Program. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning Zainab Ahmed made the disclosure while launching the Project Lighthouse Debt Analytics and Reporting Platform in Abuja. Leah Katung Baba today reports.
The first phase of Project Lighthouse was launched in July 2017, and during that campaign, data was mined from multiple sources to support the implementation of the Voluntary Assets and Income Declaration Scheme VADES. The data included tax records from tax authorities, company ownership and directors from about 10 sources that include CAC, AMCON, JIFMIS, Remitter, Nikon, contractor payment records, and FIRS. In less than 2 years, 53.5 billion naira has been recovered through the Government Integrated Financial Management Information System (GIFMIS) as a recovery touch point.
There's a lot of work to be done. We are holding this stakeholder platform to sensitize ministries, departments, and agencies so that they can log on the debts that is owed to them on the portal to enable us aid them in the recovery process.
However, to consolidate on the current efforts of these projects, a debt recovery application has been built to be monitored by the new debt recovery unit.
Able to stop the payment at that point, before those monies get to those who are owing government, so that either they pay up or they tell us to net off.
More ministries, departments, and agencies will be added to the platform, and a fully functional website has been developed to effectively manage public perception around the government debt recovery efforts and revenue improvement strategies. Project Lighthouse Debt Recovery provides the ministry with a single window on the credit profile of the government with details of the outstanding amount due as well as amounts recovered. In Abuja, Leah Katimbaba today, NTA News.
We pause for some messages now. The news continues shortly. Do stay with the NTA. Welcome back. Construction work has commenced on the Port Harcourt to Maiduguri narrow gauge reconstruction project. Minister of Transportation Oshibajo Amechi, while inspecting the project, says the target is to get the track lane from Port Harcourt to Enugu completed by September this year. Oyinaya Kalwoka reports.
The contractors have been mobilized and work has commenced.
They have started removing the old lines. They will replace the old lines with new ones, all the way from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri.
It is a project that is to be reconstructed, so the work is expected to be fast, says the Minister of Transportation, Oshibajo Amechi.
So I expect that by the time we come here, formation work should have commenced and should have gotten, if it doesn't get up to the watch, we're quite close to the one set of formation work. Clearing should have either gotten to Imo River or have exceeded Imo River. If we must meet the target of August, September to get to Enugu, both in terms of track lane, what we're trying to do in this narrow gauge line is to build the same infrastructure that you have. You can never tell when you build the standard gauge on this line. They have some level of funding. I hope that we'll secure the loan before they exhaust what we currently have.
He urged the contractors to work in different gangs in order to hasten the completion of the project.
You can't stop working from Enugu. So you have a gang in Enugu, you have a gang in Port Harcourt. You're supposed to have about 3 to 4 gangs between Port Harcourt and Enugu.
Yeah, actually, we have more gangs. Now we have 2 gangs here to dismount in the trucks because the station is wider, bigger.
The rehabilitation and reconstruction of the Port Harcourt to Maiduguri Eastern Narrow Gauge project will link 14 states when completed in 36 months. Oyinaya Kalwoka, NTA News.
With the clamor over the congestion of Apapa-Lagos port and suggestion of alternatives from the eastern ports in Nigeria to ease traffic of export and import activities, stakeholders are taking the advantage to positioning Calabar port as a major non-oil export hub in the country. Paul Abel reports that the forum held in Calabar brainstormed on the challenges and developed strategies towards achieving this feat.
The National Homegrown School Feeding Program, considered to be the biggest child-friendly initiative in Africa. Nigeria blazing the trail in this regard, even pushing to widen the program to accommodate more.
We will maintain the objectives that are...
This engagement with relevant partners by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development is part of strategies geared towards the implementation of a new policy on the school feeding program that will take into consideration inclusive process for its sustainability.
This policy will serve as a foundation for the success and sustainability of the National Homegrown School Feeding Program and will remain as a guiding document that ensures continued investment from national and subnational stakeholders beyond any singular political dispensation.
About 10 million pupils already covered nationwide, targeting 12 million shortly, bearing in mind cost implication.
Based on the impact of the program, attracting children to attend school, ensuring that children are healthy, the value on these bases has encouraged Mr. President to ensure that this program is sustained.
After the dialogue, implementation of the policy document beyond feeding the child, but also to build capacities of the chain network of the program. Ruth Aguilera, NTA News.
That was actually Ruth Aguilera reporting on the National Homegrown School Feeding Program, which is ongoing in Abuja. Now, let's quickly tell you that the Director General, Industrial Training Fund, ITF, Sir Joseph Ari, has commended the federal government for investing huge resources towards empowering the Nigerian youth with employability and entrepreneurship skills coupled with startup capital and securing their future. He started this in Abeokuta, Ogun State, at the graduation ceremony for catering and event management, plumbing and pipe fitting trainees. Lekon Abunde reports.
100 beneficiaries acquired skills in catering and event management, plumbing and pipe fittings. Director General Industrial Training Fund, Sir Joseph Ari, who was represented, says technical and vocational skills development remains a crucial element in redirecting the narratives in the nation's industrial and economic sector.
We are committed to implementing skills acquisition program to equip Nigerians with life skills for employability and entrepreneurship so that they can take advantage of the numerous policies of the federal government that are designed to boost the economy and improve the standard of living of all Nigerians.
They have not only used this as a means of livelihood, which have alleviated poverty, they have also been employers of labor.
Dignitaries and other stakeholders commended the vision of the ITF project and urged the beneficiaries to take full advantage of the opportunities for socio-economic development of the country.
I've learned a lot of things to equip myself because I participated at the plumbing section, and then it has been a very nice experience for me.
I've started doing some little job that has started giving me some income.
The 100 beneficiaries were given certificates, startup kits, and working tools. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has commenced the second stage pitch competition under the Tertiary Institutions Entrepreneurship Scheme TIES, the shortlist beneficiaries of developmental grant. Musa Abubakar reports.
This group of experts are keen to get the top 5 entrepreneur innovations to access 900 million naira TIES grant of the Central Bank of Nigeria. Dr. Caroline Alunogena and Esther Olabi from Federal University of Technology, Minna, are amongst the top 30 shortlisted. After going through the selection process behind closed doors, Dr. Alunogena expressed optimism about their chances of getting the grant.
We've just presented the She Business Hub for wealth creation. Adopting what we call the Acadpreneurship is our model in Federal University of Technology Entrepreneurship Center. Acadpreneurship means turning business ideas and ventures into business.
And this project is not just focused on the production of products from the shea butter or from the shea. It cuts across all of the processes involved in the shea value chain.
Winners of the grant will be announced at the end of the 4-day process, in which first, second, and third place will get 250, 200, and 180 million naira grants. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
Hengino John Adams joined us now from Lagos with more reports.
Thank you, Kene.
Stress at workplace is considered a major primary stressor. Experts say it can affect individuals' psychological and physical health, including the effectiveness of an organization. In this report, we examine work-related stress and implications, particularly for those in Lagos.
Work-related stress has now been recognized by the World Health Organization as a global challenge for workers as well as organizations. This has serious effect on the workers' health. Employees who deal with the problem of work-related stress are often faced with low motivation, less productivity, low satisfaction levels, and less safety at workplace. Magdalene Ukudo is a financial analyst. She shares her personal experience on how she manages work-related stress.
Know your job very well. This can help you organize yourself. I know when to do things to meet your deadline and to be able to allow your boss, maybe you come out with a plan for your boss to know that, yes, I can be able to do this without too much stress on yourself.
For these respondents, being truthful to oneself by knowing how one's body works will help manage work-related stress.
Do you take some sporting activities? Do you move around? Do you, at least at some certain age, the limbs and the bones and joints start to give way?
What I do most if I'm under pressure at work and I'm stressed, I just leave my office, and walk around, see friends, close colleagues, just gist with them for 2-3 minutes, and I'm relieved. I come back refreshed.
Dr. Femi Ogunremi is a medical practitioner. He says workers must devise ways to plan their lives to effectively manage work-related stress.
It's important for us to know that at some point we need to, sit back and then reflect on everything and then put a table of contents that, okay, these are the things I need to do. Which of them is important? Let's prioritize. Important one, let's do when it's necessary.
Determining causes of stress and addressing the challenges are vital in the survival of individuals and organizations.
Turning to politics now, building and sustaining vibrant democracy requires more women participation in politics, as this will also enable them address critical issues. Amaka Owo sought the views of some stakeholders and reports.
Politics, many believe, is one of those sectors with a shortfall in the number of female participants given the large number of women population in the country. Data shows that the 9th National Assembly has only 18 female serving members. As political activities gradually build up towards 2023 general elections, women have been encouraged to get involved in active politics.
As a professional woman, don't just sit back and say, oh, this is my profession. We all must get involved from our community, from your ward, from where you live, from your local government. Even if you are not contesting elections, participate. It's our destiny.
Politics is a game of interest. You have your own interest, I have my own interest, and I want to put my own people, you want to put your own people.
Several factors, such as high cost of participation in politics, stereotypes, among other societal and social factors, have been attributed as issues discouraging women involvement. That notwithstanding, women have been told to brace up to the challenge, as many believe the gains are more.
Interesting. I urge all our women to please come out and join politics. Initially, I used to think that politics is not a good place to be, but I have learned a lot.
If they don't want to join politics because some of them did not go to school, because some of them cannot speak, I encourage them to join politics. Politics is very good. It's something that you meet people.
Beyond the fact that many women are believed to be eligible to be involved in politics, many are of the view that the political terrain might be extremely too tough for them to have strong hold, as they are considered the weaker sex. Stakeholders further canvass for more institutional support for women interested in politics. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
Time now for a break, but before then, remember that you can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on YouTube at NTA News Online. You can also visit our Facebook page at NTA Network News, Twitter handle at NTA News Now, and on Instagram at NTA Network for updates.
Thank you for staying with us. OPEC Secretary General Mohammed Sanusi Barkindo is advocating a global commitment to multilateralism with a view to ensuring an unhindered, stable and secure flow of energy to the world. Benny Adams reports that the OPEC boss was speaking during the 15th high-level meeting between OPEC and the European Union.
With the ongoing Russia-Ukraine crisis and the attendant consequences on global cost of energy, the Secretary General of OPEC, Mohammed Sanusi Barkindo, says current and future sanctions on Russia could create one of the worst ever oil supply shocks that would be impossible to replace. Citing an estimated 7 million barrels per day of Russian oil and other liquid exports being lost, and given the current demand outlook, Barkindo is of the view that urgent steps have to be taken to address the crisis.
OPEC and our non-OPEC partners will continue to remain vigilant in monitoring the daily movements of the oil market and will continue to meet each month to discuss the latest developments and act where necessary.
On the flip side, the European Union is of the view that it can provide more oil output from its spare capacity, but agrees with OPEC that concerted efforts are needed to resolve the global energy challenge.
It is more important than ever to continue our dialogue because we have to solve all three crises at the same time, and we have to solve them together. The European Union is doing our part, welcoming millions of refugees from Ukraine and ensuring a functioning energy system in Ukraine.
The meeting urged the European Union to promote a more realistic approach to energy transition. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
Meanwhile, European ambassadors in Nigeria are seeking to strengthen partnership with Nigeria in the energy sector. Speaking on behalf of the group at a courtesy visit to NNPC, Ambassador Samuela Isopi said the EU is seeking partnership to fill the gap created by the current geopolitical situation in Europe due to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. She said without mentioning words that the time to strengthen partnership in the oil and gas sector is now, which she reiterated as the focus of their visit to the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. A statement by Garabaddin Mohammed, Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division, quotes her as saying, the continent is ready to strengthen partnership, particularly in liquefied natural gas, LNG. Already, Nigeria is the fourth supplier of gas to Europe, with 40% of our LNG exported to the continent. Chief Executive Officer of NNPC, Mele Kyari, assured the delegation that the company will continue to deepen its historical relationship with EU companies in Nigeria to add more value to its business. This, he said, is by increasing gas supply to the global market while also deepening domestic gas utilization in the country. Other diplomats on the delegation include ambassadors of Portugal, Spain, Italy, and the deputy head of mission of France. Now, Musa Abubakar is ready with business news.
Thank you, Kene. Well, let's begin by telling you Nigeria's financial market have been boosted by a series of announcements and commitment by financial sector deepening Africa, a specialist development agency working to strengthen financial markets across sub-Saharan Africa. The announcements were made as part of a 2-week trip led by senior leaders from the UK aid-funded agency in collaboration with partners. These partners are Lagos State Government, the National Insurance Commission of Nigeria, NICON, InfraCredit, and FMDQ. Now to equities market. The equities market closed Monday's trading session in a positive territory. The All-Share Index gained 0.5 1% at 46,867.95 basis point, and market capitalization at 25.26 trillion naira. 224.6 million shares valued at 3.8 billion naira exchange hands in 5,946 deals. The financial services sector dominated the activity chart with Guarantee Trust holding company Zenith and Sterling Bank. That's business news. Now, just is our next port of call.
Thank you, Musa. Plateau State government says it will sustain its fight against tuberculosis until it achieves drastic reduction in cases of infection. This was at the presentation of facilities for tuberculosis control in rural communities of the state. Indenyang and Abuja has details.
Tuberculosis is one of the deadly airborne diseases that is of great concern to stakeholders. In 2021 alone, 3,357 cases were diagnosed in the state. Out of this figure, 1,173 completed their treatment, 993 cases were cured, 222 victims died, 32 failed treatment, while 187 persons did not follow up the treatment.
Efforts are on ground towards ensuring that TB activities in the state is improved upon.
Worried by its devastating effect, the state government, in conjunction with other stakeholders, presented motorcycles and other medical equipment to local government coordinators at the grassroots.
State government bought motorcycles to improve their activities at that level with regards to data collection and collation, with regards to supervision at that level, as well as to intensify TB case finding.
They called for adequate risk communication and immunization of children at birth in Jos, Indenyan, and the Abuja. NTA News.
That's it from Jos. Network News continues with Kene in Abuja.
The game changer in Nigeria economy through sufficient and efficient fertilizer production for new wealth base through agriculture. That is our focus this week on NTA Tuesday Live. Tuesday Live, every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Incisive and educative. Join us.
Alphonse Wabara on the death of his wife, Felicia Edemo Wabara. In a statement, President Buhari urges the former Senate President, children, grandchildren, and family members left by the departed to take solace in the quality of life led by Mrs. Wabara, a devoted wife, committed mother, and a devout Christian. President Buhari prays God to accept the soul of Mrs. Wabara and comfort all those who mourn her. In another development, the Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Tarling, has called for justice for the late gospel singer Osinachi Nwachukwu, who died as a result of alleged gender-based violence believed to have been perpetrated by her husband. The minister also demanded for the protection of the children of the late singer. The minister said she was compelled to make such demand after having private audience with children of the gospel artist Osinachi, popularly known for her Ekweme album, even against unconfirmed report that late Osinachi, before her death, was hospitalized for throat cancer disease.
I cannot let this go. A lot of women have died in this same process. But for what? We will follow this case, and I have faith to the police that justice will be done. All we are asking for justice, and that our children will be protected.
She stated that even though the extent of allegations and stories surrounding her death, especially in the social media, should be taken with caution, while expressing her confidence in the police and the judiciary to unravel the truth behind the cause of late Osinachi's death and ensure speedy justice for her as well as full protection of her children.
From my discussion with the DPO and other security agents and children at home, there is no smoke on that fire.
The husband of late Osinachi is said to be in police custody while the children are in the care of a family friend. Now let's check out tomorrow's weather.